If you only read one book this year, this should be it, and it's The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Now, the reason I recommend this book, and I know what you might be thinking, philosophy, people just sit there thinking, spinning their wheels, and really don't come to any conclusions that benefit me in everyday life. But this book covers Stoic philosophy, which is ultimately, in my opinion, the most applicable when it comes to everyday life, not just from people 2,000 years ago, but even now in 2026. And the reason I love the book so much is because Ryan Holiday, the author, gives a very simple framework looking back through ancient Stoics as well as people who've practiced these all the way throughout European history, American history, and throughout the world, talking about different ways that people have applied this Stoic framework of living, of accepting things for as they are, and just overall ways to live your life purposefully, because the main component is that there's always going to be challenges in life, there's always going to be obstacles, and there's always going to be things that are outside of our control. And you really have to just play the hand that you're dealt in many cases, like poker, but there's a lot that you can control. And it's intended to help you to understand what there is that you can control, how to do that. And it gives a very simple framework for doing that in 3 steps. I believe it's perception, actions, and the will. And he breaks down each of them. For perception, talking about the ways that your mindset can be changed. Because say you have a negative day at school or work, maybe you get a bad grade or you didn't do as well in a presentation that you had to deliver. And you might beat yourself up. You might see it as a negative opportunity. Maybe you're going to get punished. And you really have to step away from it thinking about the positives. I didn't do as well there. How can I do better? Where can I get feedback? And moving forward, what can I do to do 20 times better than I did on that presentation or that exam, whatever it may be? And just bringing in that perception of understanding as well, whether it be I'm in charge here, like I need to take initiative, whether it be there's things that are outside of my control that I can't do anything about, but I can still, at the very least, try to make the most of that situation. That's where perception comes in. That's where your mindset plays such a big part. And that's where I'm able to apply the most right now to my life, is the way that I'm shifting my mindset and focusing on growth and opportunity and trying to be as optimistic as possible towards the future. And then the second component is your actions. How is it you're able to align your actions to overcome or walk around that obstacle? Because ultimately, the obstacle is the way, from the title, is saying that there are challenges in life. And the way you direct yourself towards them, the way you overcome those challenges, is what's going to build you up to be a better person, so that you're better able to overcome future obstacles, future challenges, because you've built up that strength of resilience in your mind and your body, and preparing yourself for that future. And so the ability to direct your actions, whether it be focusing on what you can do in the moment and physically strengthening yourself, mentally strengthening yourself to do the very best that you can with the given circumstances that you have, it makes a huge, huge difference. Like, for instance, say that you're having difficulty finding work. Well, if you continue applying for jobs, ultimately, you have to redirect those actions elsewhere, because if you're not able to get a job in a certain area, then there's no reason to keep applying, and just ultimately you're exhausting an option. You have to realize that there's other ways that you can direct your energy and direct your focus. And so putting that time, energy, and focus into something else that's going to be more productive is going to be the best use of your time there. And then finally, there's the will. And here's what matters most when it comes to the will. It's understanding that we're all human. All of us are trying to better ourselves. All of us are existing, cohabitating in this world and trying to build the best life for ourselves. We're all mortals. And for whatever reason, we all start to panic whenever something goes wrong. Even though there's always going to be things going wrong in life, there will always be challenges. And the will, the component there is just having perseverance, understanding that we're all human, the understanding that there's things that will always be outside of our control, but still trying, still putting your mind to it, and willing yourself to, even though there is difficulty, even though there's hardship, put your mind, your body, and everything you have, all your energy, into overcoming things that challenge you. And I would say that those are the key takeaways that I've had from the book, and I've been able to apply them in many areas of my life. And I've gotten a lot of value from it. I recently reread the book after about 4 years since I last read it, and I really wanted to share it because I've had a lot of value out of it. There's a lot of insights that I've gained. And I think that it's a very easy read, so many of you could probably finish it in about 5 hours. So week tops if you read it, hour a day. And there's just so much to be gained, and I think that a lot of us need that, especially since we tend to develop this idea of thinking that we're immune almost, that we are invincible, and that things will always go according to plan. And I know there's a saying that plans never survive first contact with the enemy. And the same goes for everything with life. We always try to plan, we always try to organize, we always try to control things the best we can to develop this feeling of security. But ultimately, we're never going to have that because, if anything, it's a false sense. We can't really control anything in our lives. And the best you can do is understand that there are things that are in our control, but there's many more that aren't. And so work with what you've got and do the very best that you can with it, and you'll be content, and you have to find happiness in that. So highly recommend reading the book, and ultimately let me know down in the comments if you guys have any other book suggestions. I would love to see them, and especially if it pertains to anything philosophical or just business related, I'd love to hear them. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the support, and I hope that you have a great day.